What is going on, YouTube? Lamont at large. Today I am in Wapon, Wisconsin, and we're gonna go to Chris Watts' house. Let's go. Right now we are currently walking down Main Street here in Wapon, Wisconsin. Population just a little over 11,000 or so. This town was founded in 1839 by a man by the name of Seymour Wilcox. No, I did not make that name up. I wish I did. Not much about Wapon I could tell you about, but a couple famous people were born here. Of course, we have John Van Engel, who basically is the father of food banks. He created the first food bank ever. And a man by the name of Tom Mullica. Who is Tom Mullica? You're probably asking yourself. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Tom Mullica is a very funny comedian magician. Hey, next time somebody asks you, hey, have you ever heard of Tom Mullica? You're going to say, actually, as a matter of fact, I have. So this town is known for two things. Of course, most of the economy here is predicated on cows, dairy farms, agriculture, that kind of thing. And the other thing, well, is this is a prison town. There's two prisons here. There's the Wapon Correctional Institute, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. You can actually see the wall of it directly ahead of you. And of course, we have the Dodge Correctional Institute, and that is where Chris Watts lives. As of course, you guys know Chris Watts, a very infamous scumbag. He murdered his wife and 3 kids. The third kid was unborn, Nico. Doesn't often get talked about when people talk about these crimes online. But in my personal opinion, if you have a heartbeat, you're alive as far as I'm concerned. So moving along, another fun fact about this town, not many of you know this, but back during World War II, when we would capture German prisoners of war, we would transport them to the United States and use them for labor in a lot of our farming towns. And however, if you were a lucky enough German guy, and let's say you were really smart, you were a scientist, and you knew about rocket engines, propulsion systems, especially atomic bombs, because we were really looking for those guys. Not only would you not have to work on a farm, but we would make you a U.S. citizen, and then you would help us create weapons of mass destruction, I guess is what you would call it. The median price of a home in this town is about $150,000, meaning that you can buy a house here for about I've seen it as cheap as $115,000. It can go as high as $320,000, depending on the house that you are buying. The second stop of our tour is this prison right here. This is the Wapon Correctional Institute. This prison was built and completed in 1851. It is still in use today. The reason why this spot was picked for this prison is the abundance of limestone in the area. And as you can see, this prison is all made out of limestone. And this prison also has a very infamous inmate, one Stephen Avery, of course. Everybody has seen the Netflix documentary series, Making a Murderer. Basically, everybody knows his story. He is a resident of this prison, and from what I've read online, he's not locked down in any kind of maximum confinement area of the prison. This prison would be like the kind of like medium security prison. Dodge, of course, the prison where Chris Watts is up the road from here, that would be like a maximum security prison. That's a prison that you don't want to be at. I mean, you don't want to be at any prison really, but that one you definitely don't want to be in. So this is where he's at to spend the rest of his scumbag days. Whether or not you believe that the system made him who he was, at the end of the day, you're still human filth, and you're still an absolute and complete and utter scumbag. But if you notice the architecture of this prison, it is quite magnificent. They really don't make stuff like this the way they used to. A very magnificent, architecturally speaking, building, to say the least. And here we are on our final stop, our final tour. This is Chris Watts's mansion, so to speak. This is the Dodge Correctional Institute here in Wapon, Wisconsin. And this is where he will be spending the rest of his life, in this place. He was sentenced to 5 life sentences. And no matter how many people on YouTube make fake videos about him possibly getting a new trial, possibly him being released, he is never, ever, ever getting out. He is going to be here, and the only way he is leaving is in a body bag. This place actually used to be called the Central State Hospital for the Criminally Insane. And this place used to have another infamous tenant, one Ed Gein. He used to live here. So a odd story that I read about Chris Watts. So now, as you guys well are aware, he gets a lot of female admirers writing him. He's got a couple that come here and visit him. He gets money put on his books. He's living fat. He's living large, as they say in prison. He has all the top ramen. He has all the chips, all the honey buns, everything that he can possibly need. And dare I even say, he has something else that he might need. Hey, listen, this guy's never, ever, ever getting out. And there is an odd story. So back last year, Chris Watts got into a little bit of trouble. Right now, he is in maximum solitary confinement. He is in his cell 23 hours a day. That's where he sits there. He gets to think about the crimes, the horrific crimes that he committed. He gets to think about every day what he had, and he threw it all away by murdering his wife and his 3 children. So there was another man in a cell next to him by the name of Dylan Tallman. He is here doing a little bit of time, just a 2-bit thug, 2-bit loser, drug dealer, thief, just, Detroit scum at its finest. So apparently these 2 individuals got into a little bit of trouble last July. Looks like Dylan here, he has some of Chris Watts's items in his cell. He had some honey buns. Honey buns is a hot commodity here. Top ramen, it's as good as gold. It's worth its weight in gold in prison. He has some other things too. He has some shampoo. He has some deodorant. He had Chris Watts's underwear. He had some Vaseline. Just the usual kind of stuff. And there was some, rumors that, Chris and Dylan were having a love affair, if you will. Hey, listen, 2 guys in a prison with other guys. Hey, things happen. Things happen. No worries, right? But I guess Dylan's fiance, Krista Rochello, excuse me. She said that her fiance Dylan Tallman, he's not gay. Chris Watts just wanted to let him, because Chris Watts gets all the fat store, so to speak. You know what I mean? He gets to get all the fat store. He gets to do all that kind of fun stuff. And I guess Dylan needed a little bit of Vaseline. Hey, listen. I mean, hey, I need some Vaseline. I need some underwear, clean underwear. I will say this: those underwear that they found, they were clean. They weren't soiled. So you're not going to get any any jokes here or anything of any kind of nonsense like that. By the way, that sign says no photographers, but we're going to keep on filming anyways. Now, he did get written up. He got an unauthorized transfer of property. I guess you're not allowed to swap property with other prisoners. He got an unauthorized form of communication. I don't know what's up with that. And then he got possession of contraband. So, I don't know. I don't know when this guy, Dylan Tallman, gets out, but he'll probably be able to make a couple dollars on, you know, selling his story about how he was friends with Chris. You know, according to online reports, they're very, very good friends. I mean, you got to be a pretty good friend of a guy if you got your underwear in his cell with Vaseline. By the way, I always found people that buy Vaseline very suspect. I mean, I know it has its uses, but I mean, come on, that's a little weird. But then again, maybe it's not weird. Hey, like I said, I'm sure this place sells out of Vaseline all the time. I'm pretty sure this place can't even keep the Vaseline in stock. It's a hot commodity. It must be the equivalent of heroin here or something along those lines. But anyways, so to end this video on a more serious note, just a complete and utter scumbag. And I want to say this really quickly. I don't particularly care to do videos about crimes that have been overdone, over talked about. This is one of the crimes that has just been all over social media for years and years and years. And it gets to a point with me where I get tired of hearing the story. No matter how horrific and sad and disgusting it was, I get tired of it. But this is exactly the reason why I made my channel. I made my channel because I know a lot of you guys don't get to travel the way I do. And I know I'm somewhat fortunate that I don't have a family, so I get to do as I well please, pretty much. And so this is why I do these videos, because yeah, everybody is talking about Chris Watts. And you know, even though I swore that I would not want to really do any videos about him, stuff like this, show you the prison, show you the town, talk a little bit about it, you know, talk a little bit about his daily life. He doesn't do anything in here. All he does is sleep, eat, and other things. Use the bathroom, shower, other things. This guy has no life. 23 hours a day in one concrete room with probably a little tiny window, if that. This guy is in solitary confinement. He cannot be in general population with other inmates because they want to kill him. Oh, and one more thing. In case you're wondering why he's in prison in Wisconsin instead of in Colorado. So when he was in Colorado, he was getting constant death threats by the other inmates because they frown upon child killers. You know what I mean? They frown upon child killers. So states will have deals with each other where, let's say, for instance, a state, Colorado, says, oh, hey, we have this guy. He's like a problem. He's a security issue. And then Wisconsin will say, okay, well, we got a guy like that too. So they basically trade inmates with each other. So if you're a fiscally conservative person and you're wondering where your Colorado tax dollars are going and who's paying for what, states just pretty much just trade inmates. It's like baseball cards, but they're cards that you don't want. So you just take one scumbag for the other. Anyways, guys, this is it. I got to get out of here. I don't know if this guy has already seen me recording and he's calling the police, but I'm getting out of here. Anyways, guys, be good. I will catch up with you on the next vlog. Peace out.